Hello and welcome to the English language version of Galacon 2015, a look back. Und alle anderen, die deutsche Version ist in der Abspielliste ein Video vorher oder folgt einfach dem Link in der Beschreibung. So, I was attending Galacon 2015 and I've recorded a few panels and other stuff. And yeah, like last year, the video is from a panel because I was thinking of making a well-edited video, but I haven't recorded enough outside from panels. This year I'm making it a little bit different in the sense of don't upload videos from panels if there is a good uploaded version of it. And in the description there's a link to a playlist from Shalom the car, or I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. And he has uploaded videos from the blog MLP Rainbow, and there are few panels I have not recorded, so actually useful. He has recorded also the opening ceremony that I have filmed, but his version is just better, so I'm not going to upload it, but I have said there's a better version of it, so why not? And there's a upload there of Mr. and Mrs. Thiesen's panel, but this version that he had is not complete. There are about 15 or 20 minutes missing, so I have a complete version and I will upload it. I also have Daniel Ingram's and Monique Grieber's panel, Equester Daly's panel, Black Griffin's panel in a horrible picture quality but a good sound quality. You will see it why it is, because the room was small and let's say, so the light wasn't really there. And I was actually blind filming because I couldn't see the display of my camera, so yeah. I have filmed the Stable Text Studios panel and of course Thiesen's panel, all in full length, except for the small black frames between restarting video recording, because my camera can only record 29 minutes and then stop recording. That's actually a little bit the problem with this camera, but it has a nice zoom and not so bad picture quality. So now to the main part of the video, my experience. Yeah, I was traveling to Ludwigsburg by train 2.5 hours, so I have not have it so far. That's actually weird, but okay. And yeah, the weather was nice all weekend, but sometimes a little bit rainy, but not this big problem. This year the fast lane for Plus and BSM ticket owners was actually working fine, so it was faster than the standard ticket line. Yeah, that's actually useful. And this year you can only use the fast lane entrance if you have a Plus or BSM ticket. This is actually interesting. I have picked up my BSM goodie bag. This year in the BSM goodie bag there was a poster, a 3D print statue of Kenny in, a little bit Nightmare Moonish design, and a playing card with DJ Pons 3 or Vinyl Scratch, I'm not sure how they called it on the card. And in the BSM, only in the BSM goodie bag there was an USB power bank, so you can recharge your smartphone, for example, with it. It's actually useful and it works. And then finally in Plus and BSM goodie bags, a t-shirt. I would show you a picture, but the t-shirt isn't looking so good anymore, because for some reason the printing quality of this year's t-shirt wasn't this great. I explain it. So the printing and this design of the print is actually fine and good looking, but I have washed it one time. For comparison, the last year t-shirt I have washed 5 or 6 times, it still looks fine. This year they had a different kind of printing and it wasn't this good, but in the label of the t-shirt there was you can wash it up to 40 degrees Celsius, and I've washed it with 30, so it shouldn't be a problem. It wasn't this good when I have taken it out of the washing machine. The print doesn't look so good, and for people who are asking now, you have to flip the t-shirt inside out for washing it if it has a print. For people who are not knowing it, if you have a t-shirt with a print on front or on the back, turn it inside out, and the print will not take so much damage when you're washing it. For people who are not knowing it, it's a useful tip. and it works. And yeah, I have done it, but still the printing was not good. Okay, maybe I have get a faulty t-shirt, who cares? I'm not angry or something about it, but just a thing I wanted to say. I've watched the opening ceremony and it was fun, and there was a small misspelling or mishearing. Perry was saying you can have snacks outside, and every person in the whole theater have understood something different. So I'm like, wait a minute, have I heard it right? I have heard something different. I will not say what I have heard, but if you watch the video, you might hear what I have heard. And I watched over to the guy next to me, and I'm like, just watching, and he was like, you have heard it too. And guest of honor was starting looking at each other, and there was a whispering going through the audience, and I'm like, yeah, everybody have heard the wrong thing, but okay. Stuff happens. And it was a nice opening ceremony. After the opening ceremony, I was going to the Bizam singing session. I know, bad joke, because there was a group of people, and the one was like, what's the Bizam singing session? And his friend, so, it's signing, not singing. Oh, yeah. It's like Pony Jeopardy. What's Pony Jeopardy? It's Jeopardy. The Bizam signing session was actually different this year because you don't get 3 autographs per guest of honor, but only 1 for free. And if you wanted a second autogram, you have to buy a card for €5, so you get an additional signing. Everybody will understand what I have meant. And that's the only important thing. Yeah, they have also had a merchandising vending point before you get to Michelle Grieber, so you could buy a CD or something if you want her to sign it. So after this, I've watched the Daniel Ingram and Monique Grieber panel. It was actually funny. And there was, like always, a lot of furor for the beginning of Father. Pink fluffy unicorns dancing on rainbows was, for some reason, the song of the convention. Not the official, but the unofficial. The panel was actually funny, and Dan Ingram has told the story how he had uploaded the Winter Wrap-Up song video to YouTube and got a call from Hasbro because the episode wasn't aired yet. Stuff like this happens. So after this, I've watched the Equestria Daily panel. It was actually funny, and I only have to say Bacon Eagle. That's everything I have to say about it. After this, I have watched the Overmare Studios panel. Okay, I have to explain it shortly. Overmare Studios are working on a video game version of Fallout Equestria. Not to be confused with Stable-Tag Studios. Stable-Tag Studios is going to make an animated version, and they always get confused by Equestria Daily. The Overmare Studios panel was actually funny. It was about the fact that my phone has just died and I have to reload it so that I can watch my notes again. Funny. Now, the Overmare Studios panel was actually about the whole story, how the studio was handling the creation of the video game, but not about the video game itself. It's actually funny. So they had a team with 200 people, and now they have 60 people, and it's only about behind the scenes stuff without showing Fallout Equestria stuff. And this is actually interesting. It was an interesting panel. Some people was falling asleep, but was interesting. After this, I have watched Black Griffin's panel, and Black Griffin's panel was actually funny because he had support from Michelle Grieber, and yeah, they had to close up the room because they weren't allowed to let any more people inside the small room, and yay, this was actually funny. It was a funny panel. I only have to say, in the middle of the panel, Black Griffin got a small piece of paper from a guy with a word on it, a German word, and the word was Geschwindigkeitsbegrenzung, and he was like, what's this word? And he started to try to pronounce it, and yeah, this is actually funny because when you're German, you know, Geschwindigkeitsbegrenzung isn't this hard of a word, because Geschwindigkeitsbegrenzung, yeah, okay, I'm start being dumb now. But actually, fun fact about it, when he have heard the word spoken out one time, he actually has repeated it nearly perfect, and this is, well, not bad. After this, I have made preparations for the gala evening, because I was thinking about going to the gala. So I get back and I was like, yeah, let's go to the video game room. And the video game room was this year actually quite nice, because they had different games, like some pony game, I don't know what it is. They had Sorcerer World, a Japanese RPG side-scrolling game. They had Rocket League on a PlayStation 4. They had an emulation station with an Raspberry Pi where you can play different stuff like Bomberman or whatever. And they had a Wii with Super Smash Brothers. They had Game Boys with different games. They had a small Pong console. They had Missile Strike 3D, or how I call it, the head explosion generator, because it wasn't Missile Strike 3D, or however it is called, is a kind of 3D fake game for the Sega Master System. And people will say, no, wait, the Master System, isn't this that's a little bit like the Nintendo Entertainment System? I'm like, yes, and they had 3D goggles for it, shutter glasses, and it's horrible. You get a headache really fast. Then they had an Oculus Rift SDK 2 where you can play a demo of VR Ponyworld 3D. And actually funny, if you want to play with Oculus Rift on Gamescom, you have to wait for hours, but they're 5 minutes. It was a 3-minute demo where you can run around in Ponyworld in virtual reality. Nice, but not really useful for me, because I had to take my glasses by side and I'm not seeing much without my glasses, so yeah, not good. But what I was actually doing was playing House of the Living. No, not really. There was an Dreamcast. They had 3 or 4 games, which I have seen. Samba de Amigo they had Space Channel 5, and they had a light gun shooter that's actually like House of the Dead without, well, zombies. It was something like CMI, some critical mission something, whatever. It's actually like Time Crisis or House of the Dead, but well. And I was like, yeah, it's the right game for a family-friendly convention, shooting people. Yeah, it was in the console and was like, yeah, why not try it? I haven't played a game like this in a long time. I'm so old. No, not really. But then other guy joined and he was like, yeah, I want to watch Poly cover it later. And I'm like, yeah, let's give it a chance. And then we played for about, well, 1.5 hours, whatever. It was really funny. This year, the evening of the Saturday was actually interesting, because you had a lot of different choices what to do or what to watch. Because there was, for example, PlushieCon, where you can watch plushies. I have no idea what it actually is, because I wasn't there. Then you had the Gala, the Gala. And Michelle Krieber concert at the Gala, but I wasn't there, so I haven't seen it. Then there was, of course, the Gala Party, and this year the Gala Party was actually funny, because they have used the room for the Gala Party only for the party. So they had on stage a nice DJ table and stuff, and then in the size of a door, with a normal door with LEDs on it, and they could show different pictures on it, and Pinky Pants. I found it really funny when I've seen it for 5 minutes. So, no, I not found it funny for 5 minutes, but I've seen it about 5 minutes. Because I was going to the Pony Cabaret. Cabaret? I don't know what's the English pronunciation for this. And yeah, actually it was a really not family-friendly comedian / musical / whatever. Yeah, it was a little bit like a mix of stand-up comedy and a little bit music. And it was actually really funny if you like the humor, because it was really mean and has had a lot of swearing in it. So yeah, not family friendly, but if you like the kind of jokes, you could have fun. And I had fun. I'm a bad person now. After the coverage, I was just going into the Gala Party room, and it was nice, but I was done for the day. So I, was going back to the hotel and sleeping. The next day have started with something completely different. With a theater where no filming is allowed. No, really. I was standing in front of the theater and they're like, yeah, no cameras allowed, so don't film. Yeah, you could take your camera inside, but you're not allowed to film because for the voice actor panel of this year, they had a blind reading of an episode that wasn't aired yet, so quite interesting. I'm not sure if this is an actual episode that will exist in the future or that is coming out the next time, but it was really funny, and I will not say what it was about, but every person on the stage have taken over different roles. For example, Black Griffin was on stage and he was playing Beep, and yeah, if you ask me who Beep is a character with a different name that's actually not Beep, but I will not tell it because maybe spoiler, I'm not sure. But well, yeah, filming was not allowed and I'm actually waiting for upload of it. No, not really. Then there was the Q&A session and it was actually quite funny, but I was sitting like, yeah, not useful for filming, so I haven't filmed it. So because I was like, yeah, they have said there is no filming at this panel, so I was guessing like the whole panel. At the Q&A session there was a funny small detail about don't eat a burrito before recording. Peter knew had done it and it has a funny side effect of his stomach making noises that were recorded. Then after this there was the Stable Tech Studios panel and it was funny, I filmed it. And Stable Tech Studios, like I've said before, are working on an animated version of Fallout Equestria. And there's a funny small thing, one of the guys standing up and kissing or licking the other guy, I haven't seen it and I sadly haven't filmed it because it was kind of dumb. A funny, well-made panel, and I am actually recommended to people who are interested in stuff like this, like an animation and Fallout Equestria animation. Then, and now a fun fact, after the first panel I haven't left my seat because there was so much delay on Sunday, so I didn't have time to get out and do stuff, so yeah, I was sitting the whole time. The next panel was Thiessen's panel, so Jason Thiessen's and Jocelyn Thiessen's panel. I'm sorry when I'm butchering this name. And it was an interesting panel, and they have told the story about a 2-minute pilot episode test, but the fun fact is this wasn't ever released. It's an unreleased pilot and they haven't shown anything, but I really want to see this 2-minute video. Now, so yeah, it was a funny, interesting panel. So the next point was the charity auction, and this year this whole auction thing was a little bit different. So they had a small auction on Saturday and the bigger auction on Sunday, and there was a few fun things, like for example a guy was actually bidding for the outside of a door from a smart car, and actually he was bidding and his friends are like, what the, stop bidding, how will you transport it, you're here with an airplane. Dumb, but funny. Yeah, I was about to say lustig. Lustig is German for funny. Now I have learned more by watching my video. There was a few things like 2 Fanta bottles were sold for 150 euros and a new head of Perry was sold for 810 euros by a Joker. There was a cosplay, he was the Dark Knight Joker, if you know what I mean. He was looking like the Dark Knight Joker, the Joker from Dark Knight, from the movie, not the comic. I'm not sure about the comic version, I haven't read it, so yeah. And the hat was really fitting him well. Yeah, they had a presenter for stuff. He was taking the stuff and walking around so people could look at it, and it was actually really well done by this guy. Really, he was liking what he does, so well done. So the only thing I really didn't like about the auction was the sudden end, because at 6 p.m. it was like, yeah, the auction is finished, and people are actually a little bit yeah, pissed about it because there are a few things they haven't auctioned off that were still there, and people are, when you give something for charity auction, you want to see this thing get sold at the auction. And yeah, this year they were really like, yeah, we don't have time to make it any longer, and I don't know what. It's might be an intern thing, but I have no idea. Please don't ask. I have no idea. It was a little bit aber aber is German for but. I mean, but the whole thing, for example. This isn't making it better. Who cares? So the ending ceremonies were actually really good, and they were announcing in Galacon 2016, and I will be there most likely because I really liked this year's Galacon. They have learned a lot from the last years. There were a lot things better made this year than last year, and yeah, there were rooms I haven't actually visited. For example, the trading card game arena and tournament place, I wasn't there. The board games and chill out area room, I wasn't there. The music room with my little karaoke and Rod May, I wasn't there the whole time because on Sunday I actually didn't have time, and this is actually interesting. But I actually have to say, it was a nice convention, well done. I had a lot of fun, and yeah, until next year. I hope you liked the video, and when you did, please leave a comment or something, and I hope you enjoy the panel videos, and bye.